All right, let's dive right in. What if I told you that your greatest virtue, your kindness, is actually a cage? Yeah, it's a pretty wild thought, maybe even a little uncomfortable, but that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Have you ever had one of those days? You know the one I'm talking about. You get home and you are just completely drained. Not from hard work, but from just being on all day. All the smiling, all the agreeing, just being pleasant. It's this deep exhaustion, right? And most of us, we just kind of write it off as the cost of being a good person.
But what if it's something deeper than just being tired? Well, the legendary psychologist Carl Jung, he had a very different way of looking at it. He wouldn't look at that constant agreeableness and call it a strength. Nope, he'd call it a mask. And worse, a mask that's slowly suffocating your actual soul.
And really, this is the heart of the whole thing. It's that feeling, that gut feeling of saying yes when every single part of you is screaming no. It's like a tiny act of self-betrayal, but you do it over and over again, all to keep the peace or to make sure people like you. And that constant internal war is exactly what's leaving you so wiped out.
Okay, so to really get why this happens, we've got to dive into a huge idea from Jung's work. It's called the persona.
So what is the persona? Think of it like your own personal PR agent. Seriously, we all have one. Ever since we were kids, we figured out, okay, this part of me gets a pat on the back, and that part gets me in trouble. So we build this social mask, you know? It's what helps us fit in, get by, and just be part of the tribe.
But here's the thing, and this is super important. Jung wasn't saying the mask is bad. Not at all. Having a persona is totally normal. It's even necessary to function in society. The real danger, the trap, is when we start to forget we're even wearing it, when we believe the mask is our real face.
Let's just break that down for a second. The nice guy persona. It's all about what's on the outside, right? It's about managing how people see you, getting that approval, and doing anything to avoid a fight. But the authentic self, that's a completely different game. It's not about being liked, it's about being whole. It's about actually admitting what you're feeling and living your life from the inside out.
And this, of course, leads to a pretty big question. If we're pouring all our energy into playing this nice character, where does all the other stuff go? All the parts of us that don't fit the script? Well, this is where Jung brings in another one of his heavy hitters, the shadow.
I mean, really, think about that for a second. Where does it go? All the frustration, the little annoyances. What about your raw ambition? Or maybe even a little bit of envy? All those feelings don't just poof, vanish into thin air just because you slap on a smile and say, oh no, it's fine.
Jung had a name for this collection of all the stuff we've disowned. He called it the shadow. Picture it like this big, invisible bag you're carrying around. And every time you feel something unacceptable, you just shove it in there. And the harder you try to be nothing but nice and good, the bigger and heavier that bag gets.
And you know what happens with a bag that's stuffed too full, right? It starts to leak. That's how the shadow gets out. It's usually not some big, dramatic explosion. It's more subtle. It's that passive-aggressive comment that just slips out. It's that chronic fatigue that you just can't shake. It's that sudden wave of emptiness or that little sting of resentment you feel when you see someone else being free and unfiltered.
And this is the real kicker, the big takeaway here. That kind of compulsive niceness, it's not actually a sign of being good. A lot of the time, it's just a sign of being harmless. And you're not choosing to be harmless because it's a virtue, you're doing it because you're terrified of the conflict that might come from just being real.
Okay, so we have the mask, the persona, and we have everything we've hidden away, the shadow. Sounds like a trap, right? So how do we get out? Well, the great news is there is a way forward, and it's all about reclaiming all of you.
Jung gave this process a name too. He called it individuation. And I love this because it's not a journey to become a perfect person. It's a journey to become a whole person. It's this lifelong adventure of bringing all the pieces together, the good, the bad, the light, the dark, the mask, and what's behind it, and integrating them into one authentic you.
And let's be really clear about this. The goal is not to get rid of your shadow. You can't. That anger you shove down, that raw ambition, that stuff is pure energy. The goal is to stop running, turn around, and finally look inside that bag. It's about learning to use that energy on purpose for your own good instead of just letting it poison you from the inside out. Now, I know this can all sound like some massive, complicated psychological mission, but the journey to becoming whole, it doesn't have to start with some grand gesture. In fact, it can start with something incredibly small, super simple, and totally private. It's just a simple, quiet practice. 3 steps. So, step 1,
The next time you get that feeling, that little twitch where you're about to say, I'm fine, when you're not, just pause, just for a beat. Step 2, in that tiny pause, just ask yourself, okay, what am I really feeling right now? And step 3, name it, just for you. No one else has to hear it. Just say it in your head. Anger, annoyance, sadness, whatever it is, you don't have to do anything about it. Just give it a name.
Honestly, that simple act of just naming the emotion is so powerful. It's like you're taking a tiny flashlight and pointing it into that dark bag we talked about. The second you acknowledge what's really there, it starts to lose its grip on you. You're not being controlled by it anymore. You're starting to understand it.
So I want to leave you with this one question to think about as you go about your day. Take a look at your own niceness. Is it a real, conscious choice that comes from a place of strength? Or is it a cage? Is it a reflex, a performance you put on to feel safe? Answering that question for yourself, well, that might just be the key that finally lets you out.